council members are trying February 29th, 2024.
Now, the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2, meteorologist Eric Gage.
And just some light snow falling when I made my way up, but you said a little heavier further south, right?
Yeah, in places down in Sequoia, New Hartford, Richfield Springs, they're seeing their fair share of some lake effect fluff this morning.
Wow.
At least when I left my apartment this morning, I measured roughly 3 inches or so of snow. Yeah, and taking a look at the radar right now, because not everyone is seeing this, but for those of you who are seeing it, again, you're seeing a good fair share of some snow. This is moving right along, in fact, directly parallel to Route 20, zooming into northern Otsego County, southern Herkimer County, as well as Oneida, even zooming in even more. We've got portions of Sanger Field just south of Paris, Augusta, Stockbridge, and Madison County, down to Richfield, in Springfield, all along Route 20. We are looking at reduced visibility, blowing snow, and for the most part, this lake effect snow band's behaving as expected. It's staying generally south of the Mohawk Valley, but it could wobble north and south by a few miles throughout the morning. Wind chill of 9 degrees, a huge difference compared to yesterday. As a matter of fact, a 33-degree difference since yesterday morning. And throughout the next 12 hours, on and off snow showers depending on location again. We'll be talking about that lake effect snow band when it shifts north and the weather following today straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. Well, it is the morning after the storm.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Good morning. Welcome back. We have a few road closures and accidents to report this morning on our commute cast. First off, a live look at road conditions. You can kind of tell where that lake effect snow band is set up. Areas just to the east of Syracuse along I-90, portions of the roads, Route 12 and Route 8 heading down closer to Richfield and Bridgewater heading into Route 20. As you can see here, purple indicating what looks to be a closed road blocked due to a crash on the I-90 westbound from exit 34, Peterborough Street to exit 34A. Another road closure to report as well is way up here in Herkimer County. Road blocked due to fallen power cables on New York 365, short road to Harvey Bridge Road. And lastly, heading all the way south to Otsego County, there is a left lane blocked on I-88 due to a jackknife tractor trailer westbound on exit 20 to Hollenbeck Road. So again, it's pretty busy this morning. Some locations seeing reduced speeds on those drive times. But again, this morning, isolated lake effect snow, icy conditions in some spots. Just again, watch out for some slick locations. This evening, improving a little bit, but still some lingering snow showers. Gary?
Eric, thanks. New developments overnight as at least 5 wildfires burning in and stretching into Oklahoma rack up historically big numbers. The Smokehouse Creek fire has burned nearly 1 million acres and it's still growing. But as reporter Emily Schmidt explains, firefighters say the threat will continue for days.
Smoke-filled skies and fast-moving flames as a massive wildfire sweeps across the Texas Panhandle.
It still seems like it's just a little bit south of Fritch.
Danny Williams says he watched the fire approaching the town of Fritch.
Not good. Stuff blowing up, sparks flying, whole world's on fire.
Transforming his neighborhood of 30 years in minutes.
There was a house there, there was a house there, there was a house there, there was a house there.
He says as far as you can see, everything is burned. He's not exaggerating. The Smokehouse Creek fire has scorched an area larger in size than the state of Rhode Island. It's one of at least 5 wildfires in the area, igniting since Monday afternoon.
These are massive landscapes. They're small communities surrounded by tons and tons of open grassland.
I've got some houses burning. We're just going to try to protect the ones we can protect.
Radio traffic from firefighters in Hemphill County reveals their efforts to protect residents and homes around the town of Canadian, Texas, while a government weather satellite captured these images showing hot spots from the wall of fire in North Texas.
Holy cow.
Calmer winds helped firefighting efforts on Wednesday, but the Texas A&M Forest Service says stronger gusts are expected to return later this week. In the meantime, the flames are far from contained.
You feel like you're completely out of control. I mean, being evacuated and then everything's out there at the mercy, at the hand of God.
Leaving so much space wide open for what's to come. I'm Emily Schmidt reporting.
Just 4 months after construction started, LifeNet's emergency helicopter station is officially operational.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, happy leap day, and it definitely feels a lot more like February compared to yesterday. And regarding just how strong this cold front was, take a look at these temperatures. It was 60 at 4 p.m. yesterday, down to 20 at 4 a.m. In a span of 12 hours, we dropped 40 degrees. And you can see just how powerful this front is by taking a look at that temperature swing, that 24-hour temperature swing. And you can see some locations 40, 45, up in Canada, some locations a near 50-degree temperature swing. And currently it is 20 degrees, feels like 9 with that wind chill. So again, it is feeling a lot different today. And a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. We are still tracking this lake effect snow band. As expected, it's still remaining generally south of the Mohawk Valley. Some locations seeing a good amount of snow. Reports of 6 inches, 8 inches, near a foot of snow in other spots. You can see here near whiteout conditions in that dark blue area. Whiteout conditions in Oneida right now. If you're heading along I-90 from Utica to Syracuse today, again, slow down. Roads might be very bad as you head out to the west. And regarding snowfall, we are still keeping the location the same. We are bumping up those numbers a bit. I would not be shocked if some locations in the red area here saw well over a foot of snow, in some locations nearing 1.5 to 2 feet. As this band is still pretty impressive, remaining stationary over the next few hours. And again, as some spots have already picked up a foot of snow, this would not be a shocking scenario. Now in our Skycast, we are looking at that lake effect snow band still sticking south of the Mohawk Valley for most of today. Besides the snow, because this is the main story we've been mentioning, still watch out for icy spots. A lot of locations that have not seen the snow this morning are very, very slick. And for example, our parking lot up here in Smith Hill is entirely a sheet of ice. So again, watch out for all that as well. Get some rocks salt out, treat your sidewalks and driveways if you can, because again, it's very icy in other locations. This afternoon, the lake effect snow band continues to weaken and then shift its way north throughout the overnight hours. Lingering flurries by early Friday morning north, but a distant memory of snow as we head into Friday afternoon as high temperatures climb into the upper 40s. Following that, a brief round of some maybe a light mix of flurries by early Saturday morning. It's trending cooler for the Heart Run and Walk with some light rain and temperatures in the 30s. And so looking at your 7-day forecast, again, windy today, cold in the 40s for tomorrow with some sunshine, trending cooler for the Heart Run and Walk again with highs only in the upper 30s, low 40s. Sunday and Monday back in the upper 50s, low 60s, and that spring-like weather returns yet again. So this is only a temporary thing. The snow we've seen today will inevitably melt by the weekend.
And we're getting a lot of calls for closures as well this morning. So.
Yeah, some locations I think it's justified. A lot of snow in some spots.
Especially the south.
Yeah.
Eric, thanks. The time right now is 5:22. Still ahead on Sunrise, any 9th, 2024.
Now, the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2, meteorologist Eric Gage.
And the snow is falling pretty heavily in some parts right now.
Yes, that's right. It's cold in a lot of areas, but one specific location in the Mohawk Valley, at least south of the Mohawk Valley, a good amount of snow. Let's take a look at that radar right now because this is a pretty impressive lake effect snow band. In the dark blue area, I want to actually emphasize certain locations here. Just south of Utica in the Clinton, New Hartford, north of Sequoia, heading closer to Cedarville, in Richfield, southern Herkimer County, northern Otsego County. I would not be shocked if some locations see well over a foot, Some locations nearing 2 feet of snow. This band is still remaining stationary. And as you can see here, that dark blue is indicating near whiteout conditions in a lot of locations. So again, just a heads up, there will be a decent amount of snow falling south, but in areas north, a different story. It's quiet, it's cold, and it's icy. So watch out for some slick spots as you head out onto those roadways. Temperature 7 degrees with that wind chill. 24-hour temperature change minus 33, nearing a 40-degree drop compared to yesterday at the high of 60. In the next 12 hours, again, warming up a little bit, a huge difference compared to yesterday. But as we head into the next few days, it'll feel a lot more like March weather as we head into the first few days of March. We'll talk about that, plus continuing to track this significant lake effect snow band coming up. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Later today, President Biden and former President Trump.
Welcome back. Your weather photo of the day this morning. This one is showing a fallen tree causing some power outages out in the Clinton yesterday. This was sent in by Elisa and Lester Gale. As you can see here, enough winds from the very strong cold front yesterday that is producing today lingering lake effect snow. And in some locations, that snow is pretty intense. Some locations have reported over a foot of snow south of the Mohawk Valley. A live look at the radar right now. The band of heaviest snow, as you can see right here, is generally just south of Utica along the Madison-Oneida County border, bordering the Otsego and Herkimer County border. And for the next few hours, those snow showers will continue to remain persistent as that band remains stationary. A good amount of snow will fall in that region. And besides the isolated lake effect snow, with the flash freeze last night, watch out for some slick spots. For example, our parking lot up here in Smith Hill is entirely a sheet of ice. So watch out for slick spots, especially on untreated surfaces. The roads will continue to get more and more treated as the morning progresses. Gary?
Thanks, folks. Living in the Lillian Cooper Apartments on Genesee Street.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Happy Leap Day. A sharp contrast in temperature this morning compared to yesterday. And just how sharp? Well, this strong, very strong cold front brought temperatures from the 60s officially at 4 p.m. yesterday down into the 20s this morning. Wind chills even cooler. A 40-degree drop in just 12 hours. This is a very strong front on par with some of the strongest flash freezes we've seen here locally in central New York. And you can see that huge swing as the Arctic air burst into parts of the Northeast. And currently it's 19 right now. As a matter of fact, I should update that to 41-degree difference. But as you can see here, wind chill of 6 degrees, still feels very cold. But the main story is this lake effect snow band. Now, just how much snow is currently in some locations? Well, take a look at right here, Litchfield and Herkimer County. Someone sent in a report of 18 inches of snow. This is an impressive snow band. Again, as I mentioned in the first half hour, would not be shocked if some spots along this band see near 2 feet, maybe even more of snow. You see Springfield along Route 20, Richfield as well, seeing near whiteout conditions. Same thing, whiteout conditions up in Oneida along the I-90 corridor heading closer to Bridgeport in western Oneida County. Now, our snowfall map right here has the 7-inch red zone right here, but it's too difficult to put in a smaller amount in an isolated area, at least for the most part. We're looking at locations in the red area that could see, again, nearing 2 feet or more of snow. Our skycast showing that snow band still remaining persistent throughout the morning, then weakening as it approaches the afternoon and evening, shifting north a little bit. We'll see some snow in the Utica area and north as we approach the early morning hours on Friday. Most of that still stays generally north. Heading into Friday afternoon, it will be more of a distant memory of this snow as we're seeing a south wind, sunshine, temperatures climbing into the 40s, the snow beginning to melt yet again. And as we head into Friday night, a spotty snow shower or two, maybe a pocket of some patchy freezing drizzle. But as we head into Saturday morning, again, if you're heading to the Heart Run and Walk, it's going to be a bit on the cool side with some spotty rain showers and temperatures in the mid-30s. So we're going to grab a decent jacket. But the most part, it's not going to be too bad compared to at least some years past. Your 7-day forecast. Again, it's windy today, temperatures in the 20s, lake effect snow. Again, a huge difference in snow totals depending on location. Some location, Utica, not even seeing an inch of snow, but again, as you head a few miles south, it's nearing 2 feet of accumulation. Then by tomorrow, sunshine, temperatures in the 40s. By Saturday, still in the upper 30s, low 40s, spotty rain. Warming up into the 60s by Sunday and Monday, and heading into the next few days of March. Still looking pretty March-like. This final push on the leap day this year of winter, it's short-lived. We're back into the 40s and 50s by next week.
2 feet.
Yeah, near 2 feet, and it's still falling. This is a pretty impressive snow band.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that this morning, that's for
Yes.
sure. Eric, thanks. The time right now is 5:53. Still ahead on Sunrise.
News with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2, meteorologist Eric Gage.
And some of you out there are getting pounded this morning with snow. You mentioned
Yes.
Sequoia. A caller called in with what, 18 inches almost?
Yeah, in Litchfield, 18 inches. Another caller coming in with around 15 inches of snow. A lot. Regardless, it's a lot of
Yeah.
snow falling in some locations, but it's isolated up in Utica, even behind us. Not too bad, just a dusting of snow. But let's take a look at the radar right now, because although it's busy, icy spots, it's cold, there's a lot of power outages still. It's just a very busy day weather-wise, but our main priority right now will be focusing on the lake effect snow. That is the current now situation. Looks like Oneida Castle in Madison County, with that snowflake right there, reported 10 inches of snowfall. But as you can see here, this band is impressive. And by impressive, I mean some locations already approaching near 2 feet of snow as this continues to fall. But again, it's isolated. You look north, locations north of I-90, north of Utica, seeing barely anything. But just a heads up, if you are traveling from Utica to Syracuse, right where Oneida is, watch out. There will be some whiteout conditions. There are already accidents reported along there as well. Wind chill of 7 degrees, a sharp difference compared to yesterday. And over the next 12 hours, remaining very February-like, with highs only in the mid-20s. Wind chills even cooler. We're going to be tracking this lake effect snow band. Keep an eye on how much snow it produces, and we're going to be talking about what to expect beyond today. Straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. Well, it is the morning after one begins. Those high winds we experienced last night brought down the wall of a building in Sherrill. This happened at the old Arnie's Produce on West Seneca Street. Now, first responders all over the area were also kept busy most of the overnight, responding to numerous calls of trees down, limbs down, and power lines down as well because of those heavy winds. And with some power lines down, that means some power outages. Check out these numbers right here. These are the latest numbers from National Grid. There are just over 1,300 customers without power in Oneida County. That's down from 2,600 a couple of hours ago. Herkimer County has just over 1,600, and Madison County with just over 1,100. Right now, there is no estimated time for restoration. National Grid says they are assessing the situation. Decision 2024.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired.
Welcome back. We have a look at your morning commute cast. This morning, a little different. We do have some accidents and some road closures to pass along. First off, a live look at road conditions. You can see there's a lot more yellows, oranges, and in some spots purple, indicating road closures compared to what we saw yesterday. Let's zoom into I-90, though. If you're heading out to Syracuse, road blocked westbound from exit 34 to exit 34A. Due to a crash. Same thing as we look ahead up to the North Country along Route 365. Short road to Harvey Bridge Road. There is road blocked due to fallen power cables of this section right along here. And then finally, we are looking down to Otsego County along the border of Delaware County. Left lane blocked due to a jackknife tractor trailer. It's westbound from exit 20 to exit 19 Hollenbeck Road. So again, this morning, some travel times are a bit slower. Heading east from Verona to Utica, 42 miles per hour. Same thing for 5S Route 49 as well. And over the next few hours, again, watch out for some icy spots, reduced visibility from Iceland Lake effect snow. This evening, improving a little bit, but some spots might be still a little bit slick. Gary?
New developments overnight as at least 5 wildfires burning in Oklahoma rack up historically big numbers. The Smokehouse Creek Fire, as it's called, has burned nearly 1 million acres so far. And as reporter Emily Schmidt explains, firefighters say the threat will continue for several days.
Smoke-filled skies and fast-moving flames as a massive wildfire sweeps across the Texas Panhandle.
It still seems like it's just a little bit south of Fritch.
Danny Williams says he watched the fire approaching the town of Fritch.
Not good. Stuff blowing up, sparks flying, whole world's on fire.
Transforming his neighborhood of 30 years in minutes.
There was a house there, there was a house there, there was a house there, there was a house there.
He says as far as you can see, everything is burned. He's not exaggerating. The Smokehouse Creek fire has scorched an area larger in size than the state of Rhode Island. It's one of at least 5 wildfires in the area, igniting since Monday afternoon.
These are massive landscapes. They're small communities surrounded by tons and tons of open grassland.
I've got some houses burning. We're just going to try to protect the ones we can protect.
Radio traffic from firefighters in Hemphill County reveals their efforts to protect residents and homes around the town of Canadian, Texas, while a government weather satellite captured these images showing hot spots from the wall of fire in North Texas.
Holy cow.
Calmer winds helped firefighting efforts on Wednesday, but the Texas A&M Forest Service says stronger gusts are expected to return later this week. In the meantime, the flames are far from contained.
You feel like you're completely out of control. I mean, being evacuated and then everything's out there at the mercy, at the hand of God.
Leaving so much space wide open for what's to come. I'm Emily Schmidt reporting.
Just 4 months after construction began, LifeNet's emergency helicopter station.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Welcome back. A powerful cold front has swept through the area with temperatures in the 60s yesterday. Wind chills now in the single digits. And following that round of wind outages and an icing, our attention turns to lake effect. But before that, though, look at that temperature difference of 41 degrees in just over 12 hours as that very strong front whipped through central New York. And as you can see there, producing a good lake effect response. Currently 19 at Griffiths and Rome, light snow with temperatures of 7 with that feels like condition. But light snow in Rome, a very different story in areas south. Let's zoom in a little bit because the difference is pretty shocking in overall snow total. So a report of 18 inches in Litchfield, a report of a dusting of snow in Plainfield. This is a difference of only 10 or so miles. So this is just how wild lake effect snow can get. And as you can see here, some of the band in this dark blue region in portions of Route 20 along Richfield, heading up north into parts of Oneida County, north of Stockbridge, Oneida. These locations, I would not be shocked if you see around 2 feet, some higher elevations even more as this band remains pretty persistent. And a look at our forecast, we still have that zone of red area being the highest impact zone, but with how local some of these totals are, we can't quite fit the higher numbers in here. But by 7 inches or more, we really mean some locations seeing well over a foot or even 2 feet of snow. But a sharp contrast, North Utica, a dusting of snow, barely anything at all. And up north, some spots reported 2 inches total, but as you can see here, it is a sharp difference depending on location. And the snow will persist for some locations till around noontime, weaken and shift north as we head into this afternoon and this evening, with temperatures still remaining cool in the 20s, wind chills in the teens and single digits. Another cold night tonight, then we warm up tomorrow with sunshine, temperatures the upper 30s, low 40s. It will feel much nicer and the snow that we've seen so far today will eventually melt. By Friday night, we're tracking a coastal low that could produce a few flurries in the higher elevations, maybe a wintry mix by early Saturday morning, but it turns to rain, a cold rain, by the Heart Run and Walk time with temperatures in the 30s. So you want to bundle up if you head out for the run there. Your 7-day forecast. Again, it's windy and cold today, lake effect snow, isolated spots seeing around 2 feet or more. Tomorrow, a different story, a distant memory of lake effect snow as temperatures climb into the 40s, then cooling down a little bit on Saturday, warming back up again on Sunday as highs approach near 60 as that March weather continues to arrive. And as we're mentioning, this snow that we're seeing, it's likely going to melt by the weekend next week. So this is a temporary last push of winter weather we've been seeing.
Yeah, the folks to our south are really seeing it this morning.
Yeah, a lot of snow.
Yeah. Eric, thanks. Be sure to like us on Facebook. 2024.
Now, the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2, meteorologist Eric Gage.
And those folks to the south of us might need more than a shovel this morning, right?
Oh, yeah, and like 24 hours ago this morning, we were talking about it's mild, it's 40s and 50s, and a huge difference this morning. Yeah, in some spots, definitely need more than a shovel. Let's take a look at that radar right now because we're talking about a very significant lake effect snow band taking place as expected just south of the Mohawk Valley. However, it is producing a lot of snow. Some spots seeing over a foot, some locations at 18 inches, maybe even more. Some locations by the end of this, we would not be shocked to see more than 2 feet of snow. It is trending a little bit more to the south, and the difference is shocking on how much the snow is different compared to south and north. For example, in Litchfield, looking at 18 inches of snow. Up north, about a few miles up in Utica, North Utica, a dusting, maybe 1/8 of an inch. But as you can see here, near whiteout conditions. A heads up if you're heading from Utica to Syracuse along I-90 between Verona. It is whiteout conditions and reports of accidents. Same thing if you're on along Route 20, slick spots. It is very cold out there this morning, 8-degree wind chill, a huge difference compared to yesterday. And over the next 12 hours, we still only warm up into the low to mid-20s, still feeling very February-like throughout the day today. We're tracking this lake effect snow band. The totals they're coming in left and right. We're also mentioning when this comes to an end and what to expect for tomorrow and the weekend straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. Later today, President Biden and former President Trump
Welcome back. Showing our weather photo of the day. This one is from yesterday, and it was due to the very strong winds from that powerful cold front that knocked over a tree in Clinton. This one, of course, was sent in by Lisa Lester Gale. You can see here this caused power outages, and following this strong line of wind and rain became the flash freeze, and now we're tracking the lake effect snow. A live look at the Earth Battery Storm Tracker 2, a live radar. The band is still remaining persistent in southern Oneida County, northern Madison County, northern Otsego County, and southern Herkimer County, with some reports still in the over foot of snow range, and will continue to remain a bit on the snowy side throughout the morning. Along with that, if you're not seeing snow this morning, still a heads up. There are some icy spots due to that flash freeze yesterday. Our parking lot here in Smith Hill is entirely a sheet of ice. So again, any untreated surfaces will be extremely icy. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Folks living in the Lillian Cooper Apartments on Genesee Street in Utica haven't...
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Welcome back. This leap day is feeling a lot more like February to wrap up the weekend. That strong cold front yesterday dropped temperatures very quickly and by a lot. Let's take a look at that temperature difference compared to yesterday. 4 p.m. yesterday, 60 degrees in Rome. This morning, 19 in just over 12 hours. That's a 41-degree temperature difference as that very powerful cold front swept through central New York. This is one of the strongest flash freezes we've seen here locally, on par with the one from 1976. But as you can take a look here, a sharp decrease in temperatures. And as you look here, currently 19 degrees at Griffiths and Rome with light snow, a different story south, but we're all seeing those chilly temperatures and wind chills in the single digits. A live look at the radar. We've got a very strong lake effect snow band. Now, some of you looking outside and seeing near a foot, 2 feet of snow. Why is it this strong? Well, it's not only just Lake Ontario. This is feeding off of multiple Great Lakes, Lake Huron, Lake Superior. 3 Great Lakes are fueling this intense lake effect snow band that is still pushing into portions of southern Oneida County, right in fact on the border of Herkimer, Otsego, Madison, and Oneida County. But talking about the difference in snow totals, up in Litchfield reported 18 inches of snow. In Plainfield a little earlier, just a dusting. So with a matter of a 10-mile difference, you can see just how drastic those changes are. And it's why lake effect is such a very difficult thing to forecast. But you can still see here near whiteout conditions in other spots along parts of Route 20. Watch out for very reduced visibility. Take a look here along Route 20 heading south. Stockbridge, I-90 from Verona to Syracuse. Accidents reported, bad road conditions, a heads up heading out there. Our snowfall forecast, it's such an isolated area that we can't quite include higher totals in that red zone, so it's 7 inches or more right now, but there are locations seeing, or that could see over 2 feet of snow. But the system will slowly push south a little bit and weaken, shift north finally as we head into this afternoon. But you can still see here in our Skycast a persistent, steady lake effect snow band that will gradually weaken and shift north as we head throughout this afternoon and this evening. Still remaining fairly cool, too, with temperatures in the 20s, wind chills in the teens and single digits. Few lingering clouds and flurries north by tomorrow morning. Then we warm up. This snow is a distant memory as we head into the following next few days. Temperatures in upper 30s, low 40s. Sunshine tomorrow. Then as into tomorrow night, a few flurries and light snow north. A drizzle and maybe a wintry mix early on, turning to a cold rain with temperatures in the 30s for the Heart Run and Walk. But again, for the 7-day forecast, it's cold today, warmer tomorrow. A little cool down on Saturday, but then we're back up into the 60s for Sunday, Monday, and into Tuesday. So March is arriving and bringing with it more March-like weather as we're saying goodbye to intense lake effect, which is temporary, and it should melt for the most part by next week.
And a reminder to those folks out there shoveling this morning, we haven't had much of it, so be careful.
Yes, that's right. And plus, too, there could be a thin layer of ice underneath that snow. So just a heads up, there are still icy spots all over central New York.
It's still winter.
Yes.
Eric, thanks. The time right now is 6:52. Still ahead on Sunrise.
Now, the news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on the CW11. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2, meteorologist Eric Gage.
And folks to our south, Sequoia, Richfield Springs, all waking up to maybe even over a foot of snow this morning.
Yeah, that's right. A very localized snow band taking place right now. Across central New York, it's cold, it's icy, but in some spots, a lot of snow. Let's take a look at the radar right now because some locations, as Gary mentioned, just south of Utica, there's a pretty significant lake effect snow band. Some spots have already seen between 15 as high as 18 inches of snow. But as you can see here, it's shifting south a little bit. But in that blue zone, there is blowing snow, near whiteout conditions, reduced visibility, of course, bad road conditions in other spots as well. Just a heads up if you are traveling along Route 20 between Winfield and Hamilton and between Oneida and Syracuse along I-90. It might be a little bit dicey out there. 5-degree wind chill this morning, a difference of a few degrees, to put it lightly. 34-degree difference compared to yesterday morning. And over the next 12 hours, wind chills and temperatures remaining in the teens and 20s. A very good February-like day with those temperatures. But as we head into this afternoon, we're tracking that lake effect snow band when it comes to an end, what to expect for tomorrow, and then in the weekend straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And as you mentioned, the snowmaking machine is in full effect.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning. Happy Leap Day. What a difference just 14 hours makes. Around 4 p.m. yesterday, we were at 60 degrees. This morning, our current temperature, 18. A difference of 42 degrees. Again, that's on par with multiple times in the past. We've reached it 1976, 2004, 1992, where we've had flash freezes like this. And those temperature differences range between the upper 30s to low 40s within the span of 24 hours. This was very quick, though. Look at how strong that Arctic front quickly pushed in, but you can see behind it, this is not a long-lasting event. We've got even warmer temperatures behind it as we head into next week. But again, cloudy in Rome, 18 degrees, feels like 6 with that wind chill. It's still a bit blustery out, but in other locations, it's not cloudy. In fact, it is snowing, and a lot of snow is falling in some locations. Zooming in a little bit, I want to mention, because right now the snow is falling in Plainfield. Now you guys are seeing a little bit more of that dusting reported earlier, but right around 6 a.m., a difference of 18 inches in Litchfield and a trace amount of snow with a span of 10 miles. This is how insane lake effect gets sometimes. In areas north, for example, up in Utica, I got a trace amount of snow, if that. The snow band is shifting south a little bit. It's not as strong as it was an hour or so ago, but it's still impacting Exeter, Plainfield, Roseboom, heading south into Cooperstown and Middlefield. Heading up north, you can see here Stockbridge, Route 46, heading along Route 5 between Oneida and Manlius. It's still producing near whiteout conditions out there. Our thoughts are still the red zone, the highest snowfall totals expected, and locations inside that 7-inch zone could see near a foot and a half. Some isolated areas close to 2 feet. It's just hard to fit in that much gradient in a very small window. Lake effect loves to behave like that. In our Skycast today, still lingering lake effect snow throughout the morning and early afternoon. The bands begin to weaken as we approach this afternoon and this evening. A few spotty snow showers, temperatures in the 20s, wind chills still in the teens. A few light flurries overnight tonight, especially north of Utica. And then by tomorrow, it warms up fairly quickly with temperatures in the 30s and 40s with plenty of sunshine, almost as if today was a distant memory. But as we head into tomorrow night and then eventually Saturday morning, we're tracking a coastal low that could produce a few light snow showers in the highest elevations north, maybe a light wintry mix early, but if you're heading out to the Heart Run and Walk on Saturday, you could be experiencing a cold rain here and there with temperatures in the 30s. But your 7-day forecast, it's windy today, it's cold, but not for long. Into the 40s by Friday with sunshine. Temperatures cooling down a little bit on Saturday, but we're back into the 60s by Sunday and Monday. 59 in the high Tuesday. March-like weather returns as we head into the next few weeks.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Libertor.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2, meteorologist Eric Gage.
And you see that video behind us right there. That is Sequoia this morning. And Eric, you were mentioning about 15 inches reported. We here in Utica, basically nothing.
Yeah, it was incredibly localized. Lake effect does wild things sometimes, and this was one of those cases where some reports of 8 inches of snow. A look at those snowfall totals that have come in so far. You can see here just how incredibly different some of these totals are. Just ½ an inch reported in Marcy, just a little over ½ an inch in Hartwick, 4.5 inches heading into New Hartford. But as you look in Oneida, Sherrill, and Paris Hill, 15 inches of reported snowfall. And a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. Of course, we're seeing a few spotty snow showers still to the south, and not as organized as earlier. but some locations are starting to see their fair share of scattered snow. It's still very cold out this afternoon. Wind chills in the single digits, a sharp contrast compared to yesterday. And over the next 12 hours, you can see here highs only in the low to mid 20s. Wind chills even cooler. We'll see a few spotty snow showers. That lake effect snow band gradually shifts north throughout the late morning, early afternoon. Has already shifted a little bit already. And then behind that, warmer weather on the way for tomorrow. We'll talk about that in detail straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And it has been a very busy morning for many central New Yorkers, including the road crews, as most of us woke up to about a foot of snow south of Utica, that is. Plows were out all night long and still out in many areas this morning. A lot of people getting rid of the snow in their driveways and in their parking lots and on their cars right there. Now, one plow driver we spoke with this morning said that whiteout conditions made it difficult to even see the roadways. The use of heavy equipment was needed to clear the snow in some of the southern areas. One man plans on spending several hours digging out after his snowblower broke down. Others, well, they're not really complaining since it's been a pretty mild winter.
Yeah, it hasn't been a lot of snow at all. With the weather last week, you know, beginning of this week, 60s and 50s, you know. But I don't mind this, and once in a while, you know, but I don't know if I want to do it every day.
That's for sure. And our own Kirk Tupai, who interviewed him, will have plenty more reaction to the sudden change in weather coming up tonight on the Live at 5 News Hour and News Channel 2 at 6. And there are also many closings today due to the weather, which we have scrolling at the bottom of your screen throughout the day. Central Valley Academy in Ilion is closed, but their production of Sister Act is still on for tonight. That is set for 7 p.m. over at CVA, but tonight's boys volleyball Section 3 finals game has been postponed until tomorrow at 4 in the Jarvis Middle School gym. And some power lines did come down. That means some power outages. These are the National Grid customers. There are just over 1,500 customers without power here in Oneida County. Herkimer County, just over 1,900. And in Madison County, well, just over 1,000. Right now, there is no estimated time for restoration. National Grid is assessing the situation. Well, some very scary words from Russian President Vladimir Putin this morning.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Happy Leap Day. And for the final day of February, it is turning out to be a blustery and cold one, and some spots seeing a good amount of snow. Live on our Cavity Tower camera, it was whipping around a little bit earlier with some gusty winds. The winds still remaining strong this afternoon as that temperature of 23 degrees is currently in the Mohawk Valley. But a look at the temperature drop. That 60 degrees was yesterday at 4 p.m. This morning at around, I would say 6 a.m., it was around 18 degrees. So a difference of 42 degrees in the span of only 12 or 14 hours. So just a look at how strong this cold front was. And you can still see some of these strong winds in most of New York State. 22 mile per hour winds in Rome, 6 mile per hour winds Hamilton, 18 out in Rochester. And that's causing those feels-like temperatures to feel even colder. Still single-digit wind chills out there right now with cloudy skies in Rome. And for a lot of I-90 and north, especially just east of Utica, you haven't really seen too much in terms of snow. You're probably wondering, where is all that lake effect snow? Well, the bullseye was south, primarily in the hills directly south of New Hartford, into the Clinton area, into parts of Secoit, Clayville, Chadwick. Saw a lot of that snow. But right now, we're seeing a few scattered snow showers taking place in Otsego County. As a matter of fact, there's a view over right here, and look how spotty it is. We've got some snow out here in one part of Oneonta near south side, but as you head closer to the north, looking at mostly cloudy conditions. Currently 19 down there as well. But recapping that strong band, you can see that complete whiteout that occurred in Oneida along I-90. It was a mess between Oneida and Syracuse on I-90 early this morning. But things will continue to improve. We're still tracking lake effect snow, but it won't be nearly as strong as this morning. Temperatures still on the cold side. That lake effect snow will begin to wind down and shift north as we approach the overnight hours into early tomorrow. And then tomorrow is a lot different. Temperatures climbing into the low to mid 40s with sunshine, almost as if today never happened. However, we're not completely done with cooler weather. As we head into Saturday, we'll see a few spotty snow showers in higher elevations, maybe a wintry mix early. But if you're heading to the Heart Run and Walk on Saturday, you might be dealing with a cold rain here and there and temperatures in the 30s. So I recommend bundling up if you do head out to go run or walk. But for today, across central New York, scattered snow, windy, temperatures in the 20s, cooling down into the teens north. And tonight, another cold night, drying up though with a few lingering flurries. Your 7-day forecast. 25 for the high today, 49 for the high tomorrow. We cool down a little bit on Saturday, but we're back into the 50s and 60s by Sunday and Monday. And so far, after we head into March 1st arrives and goes away the winter weather. We're back into 40s and sunshine.
I think we're going to get a couple more dips, though.
Yeah, that's my guess. I feel like we're not out of the woods just yet. Yeah.
That's right. Eric, thanks. Now to what's playing out at the Southern. Good afternoon once again, and thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Libator.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2, meteorologist Eric Gage.
And some places, town of Paris right here, they got walloped.
Yeah, that's right. This lake effect snow band was producing a good amount of snow in the hills south of the valley. Some of the locations, not so much. It's pretty amazing to see just the huge difference you see.
Yeah, we were seeing that one line, and it was so tight.
Yeah, it's just a small little area. And look at those snowfall totals. Again, it's just shocking to see how much of a difference this is. 15 inches, some spots closer to 2 feet in the hilltops. But as you look to the Mohawk Valley and north, look at that sharp decrease down to barely anything. In some cases up north, even seeing some blue skies. But of course, don't let that distract you from the fact that this has been a record-setting February. 5 high temperature records were either matched or broken. Here's the list right here. You can take a minute to look at them as well. From 2009 all the way to 1954, all those records have been matched or beaten this month. This is the first time since I've worked here that we've had more than at least 1 or 2 high temperature records broken in just a single month. But at the radar right now, we're looking at a disorganized and weaker lake effect snow band that we saw earlier this morning. It's still producing a few scattered snow showers, but not nearly with the intensity as we saw this morning that produced whiteout conditions and bad driving conditions as well as you headed out closer to Syracuse. But it's still blustery and cool. Wind chills in the single digits. Yesterday at this time, we were approaching 60, so it definitely feels like an outlier. And over the next 12 hours, and this afternoon, highs only in the low to mid 20s, wind chills even cooler. That snow band will continue to weaken and shift north before coming to an end overnight tonight. And then we're tracking a much different weather pattern for tomorrow with sunshine and warmer temperatures. We'll talk about that, plus the weekend forecast straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. Today, Palestinian officials say a strike by Israel on a
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. We are continuing to track cold, windy conditions across central New York and that lingering lake effect snow band. Some spots, though, seeing a peak of sunshine. Let's take a live look across central New York on the Mesnet camera network. Some peaks of blue skies in Westland, but snow showers falling in parts of Lawrence and areas south. But again, going back to our temperature drop, I want to mention a few dates. See if you guys remember these flash freezes that occurred in the past. And Thanksgiving 2004, a 36-degree drop from 59 to 36. Going back to the Heart Run and Walk in 1992, 50 degrees to 11 degrees, a 39-degree drop. And let's go even all the way back to 1976 with that flash freeze dropping 37 degrees here in central New York. And this one dropped 42. So this takes the cake, at least with the strongest cold front producing the largest temperature deficit here in central New York over a span of only 14 hours. The wind still remaining blustery across the area. Wind speeds of 22 miles per hour in Rome, so that wind chill feels bitterly cold, at least compared to yesterday. It was almost regular shirt weather and short weather to yesterday, with highs approaching 60. Today, a lot different with an 8-degree wind chill. A live look at the radar. Again, the rain non-existent 24 hours ago. That's what we saw. And now we're seeing some lake effect snow, some spots near a foot or more. But the snow band is weakened. It's more disorganized, and it will continue to remain weak as it shifts north this afternoon and this evening, impacting parts of the Mohawk Valley. But we're not looking at anything too major. Maybe some blowing snow here and there. But as you can see, some snow taking place in parts of Morris, Sherburne, Edmiston, even going down to Oneonta as you take a live look down there in Harvard College. Snow out the distance, but closer to the camera, away from south side, we're looking at completely dry weather, maybe a few flurries. Our Skycast, we're showing this weekend snow band shifting north throughout this afternoon and this evening, lingering in parts of the area overnight tonight, and then coming to an end officially by tomorrow morning. And tomorrow, a much different story. Temperatures in the upper 30s to as high as the mid 40s with plenty of sunshine, feeling a lot different. But as we head into the weekend, the Heart Run and Walk, a heads up, you might be seeing a cold rain between 8 and 10 a.m. A few spotty rain showers there. Across central New York today, again, cold and windy, a few scattered snow showers tonight. Cool with a few flurries, temperatures in the teens, as low as single digits with clear skies. 7-day forecast, sunshine for tomorrow. Heart Run and Walk, a little cooler with a cold rain falling in some spots, but we dry out by Sunday with sunshine and temperatures of upper 50s, near 60s by next week. So here comes March, and here comes the March-like weather.
And those folks need to be careful today shoveling because we haven't had to do it much.
Yeah, especially the locations that saw over a foot of snow. Yeah, take your time.
Yeah.
Some of it's fluffy, but again, it's a lot of snow.
That's for sure. Eric, thanks. Well, after an 18-year run as the Senate Republican leader, Mitch
without power.
And many of us woke up to snow. That led to school closures or delays. But some of us had very little of it at sunrise. It all depended on, of course, where you live. Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis tracking it all from the Weather Center. And boy, some of them get pounded, some of them nothing.
It's been a wild 24 hours with the damaging winds, the flash freeze, and the snow. Looking at some of the numbers here, again, it's impressive, as you would expect with lake effect accumulation. West Winfield getting a foot of snow, Cedarville 11 inches, but then that cutoff was intense. New Hartford 5 inches, Utica only 1.5 inches, and Marcy 1/2 inch. So goes the nature of lake effect. We all dealt with the wind. This is a look at wind gusts last night. That wind gust at Griffiths and Rome of 55 miles an hour, one of the fastest measurements, the fastest since 2017. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar, tracking a few scattered showers across the region this evening. Our temperature is 22 degrees, and it's going to remain chilly as we head into tonight. Snow comes to an end. Sunshine pleasant tomorrow. We're also tracking some late rain as we head into Heart Run. Snow showers this evening, temperatures in the teens. Again, tracking some warmer weather as we head into tomorrow. Look at the forecast coming up. Kristen, back to you.
Staying on the story, residents at Lillian Cooper Apartments in Utica could be getting mail delivered again.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We are continuing to track some scattered snow showers across central New York. This cold weather is not going to last. We're expecting a dramatic swing in the temperature. Is going to get a lot warmer. Let's take a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Lake effect has been continuing throughout the day, but it has weakened a lot since earlier this morning. We will still see some light accumulation. Most areas pick up a trace to 2 inches of accumulation through this evening. The bands of snow will be lifting to the north and coming to an end. The melt meter is going to be high tomorrow, especially in areas that picked up significant snow. Expect significant melting. Sunshine, temperatures in the mid-40s, especially that March sun is going to do a number on the snowpack that we have across the area. And with it being lake effect, that fluffy snowfall, it tends to melt very quickly. Weekend forecast for Heart Run. Unfortunately, some rain showers around. In the morning, temperatures will be topping out in the afternoon in the low 40s, mid-50s on Sunday, looking at sunny skies. A generally nice weekend, or at least Sunday looks to be a lot nicer than Saturday for outdoor activities. Dolgeville, 21 degrees, Little Falls 24, 18 in Deansboro. Across Thunder Valley's Hamilton 61, Cooperstown 21 degrees. Again, some scattered showers will continue as we head into tonight. Lake effect snow will be lifting to the north. The wind direction changes, so that's going to help clear out the clouds heading into tomorrow. And it's also going to bring in much warmer temperatures. Instead of being in the 20s like today, we're going to climb into the 40s. Again, mostly sunny skies. Tomorrow night, increasing clouds. Watch out for a few icy spots overnight, especially north and east of Utica. The next weather system arrives. It's mainly a rainmaker. Cloudy skies, scattered rain showers throughout the day, and it's going to be a cold rain too, with temperatures mainly in the 30s. But again, we do briefly hit the low 40s in the afternoon. Snow showers tonight, low temperature of 16. Again, little accumulation expected. Tomorrow, a beautiful day, lots of sunshine, and a high temperature of 46. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. For Heart Run, again, rain showers, 42 for the afternoon high. The weather does warm up. We're in the mid-50s on Sunday and into the low 60s with partly to mostly sunny skies on Monday and Tuesday. That's way above average. This time of the year, we're close to 40. Temperatures will be in the mid-50s as we look ahead to Wednesday and Thursday. So it was really just one cold day and snow, and then we're going to go back to where we were.
60s again. Thousands of people without power. But we got through it. We got through it.
That's right. We're tough and central.
Bill, thank you.
Catastrophic infernos roaring across the Texas Panhandle.
Hardest hit communities.
Holy cow.
The small town of Fritch, Texas, now charred and covered in ash.
It's kind of helpless.
Fritch was caught in a cross-section of several wildfires burning across the Panhandle. The largest of those blazes, the Smokehouse Creek Fire, has burned more than 1 million acres so far in Texas and Oklahoma, making it the largest fire on record in the Lone Star State, officials confirmed Thursday. Add to that at least 4 other wildfires, burning tens of thousands of additional acres.
It's truly heartbreaking because their home is a symbolic of what's happened all over the county here.
Agricultural agent Andy Holloway estimates around 80% of the land in just one county has burned, and 5,000 heads of cattle have been killed. Numbers that could rise in the region as damage assessments come in over the days ahead. And then there's the grim task of searching burned homes.
There's a chance that there may be people that did not survive and were trapped by the fire.
Several school districts have canceled classes for the rest of the week, with some now turned into donation drop-off centers.
It's really overwhelming just to see that outpouring of support.
As the firefighting efforts continue, there is one thing that cannot be touched by the flames.
Community's been through this before, and so, we pulled together then, and I know we'll pull together again.
In Fritch, Texas, I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
The investigation grows into why AT&T customers lost service last week.
Also tonight, Trump versus Biden.
Wearing shorts and T-shirts, some of us, but the weather sure turned around quickly overnight.
News Channel 2's Kirk Tupai tells us how people caught in the snow bell are feeling about this drastic change.
The town of Paris snowplows spent the night and much of the day clearing over a foot of snow from the roadways. One of the drivers said whiteout conditions made it difficult to see the road. It wasn't much better in some spots this morning, and travelers like Dennis Miller are just happy to have made it home alive.
Last night, I couldn't see 10 feet in front of my truck. This is the first time I've been out yet today. I didn't actually think I was going to make it home last night.
73-year-old Norman Seymour took a little extra time clearing out snow from his driveway. And as much as he likes the snow, he says he'd like a little less of it.
Well, I shoveled some of the steps off over there. It does kind of make me a little winded, but I get the job done. Takes a little longer than it did a few years ago, but I suppose it keeps me young at heart.
Well over a foot of snow fell in Sequoit. Henrik Lodachevsky happens to like the snow as well, just not the sudden change in the weather.
Our winter has been certainly a roller coaster as far as weather. So I like winter. I like the winter can be beautiful. I would rather have a
perhaps a little less snow at a time, but look out and see the snow as opposed to in February having 60 degrees is just kind of weird. I'm looking forward to that in April.
Sequoia Valley Services snowplow driver Christopher Culp came to work with a big smile on his face and talked about what he expects for the day.
Busy, deep, everybody getting stuck. It's fun for me.
Not everyone was laughing. Alexis Davis had a long driveway to shovel by hand and had to take short breaks to warm up.
It's a hard work, you know. Been shoveling for probably an hour now almost. Yeah, but gotta go to work today, so shoveling the driveway.
It has been a mild winter so far. Larry Screeder says having a machine to help remove the bigger snowfalls makes winter fairly tolerable.
Yeah, it hasn't been a lot of snow at all. With the weather last week, you know, beginning of this week, 60s and 50s, you know. I don't mind this, and once in a while, you know, but I don't know if I want to do it every day.
In the town of Paris, I'm Kirk Tupai reporting for News Channel 2.
Let's get you back to Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. We had a little bit more than just your average snow or wind, right?
Yeah, we're talking about icy sidewalks tonight. Just be careful because we've had this thaw that took place with the sun being out, even though it was below freezing, so it could still be pretty icy tonight. And that'll be the case first thing tomorrow morning. But the good news is that temperatures are on the rise, and we are going right back to those warm temperatures that we had earlier this week as we head into early next week. Tomorrow's high 46. We're going to see a lot of melting snow. And then Saturday, it's in the low 40s, so warmer than today, but it's going to feel a little chilly with some rain showers. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, very spring-like. The snow that took place over the last 12, 24 hours, it's going to be long gone. Looking at high temperatures in the 60s again by Monday and Tuesday. Some scattered snow showers continue across the region. This is a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. If you are going out for a walk this evening, again, watch out for some icy surfaces. Temperatures will be in the low 20s. Tonight's featured dog, Ivy, from Oneida. Definitely looks like they want to go for a walk. This is brought to you by Nye Automotive. We're tracking, again, those warmer temperatures. Look at the forecasts coming up. Back over to you.
The Oneida County office building is reopening its Park Avenue entrance tomorrow.
It's been under.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Tracking some lingering snow showers in our area. Before we get to that, I wanted to take a look at the forecast for Saturday morning. For those of you going out to the Heart Run and Walk, we're expecting some light rain showers. It's kind of a chilly one. Temperatures in the 30s. The rain will be generally light but steady, and it does look to arrive before most of these events kick off. So dress nice and warm. Looking out there this evening, again, also dress nice and warm. Temperatures are in the 20s and teens, and we are tracking a few scattered light lake effect snow showers. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. These are slowly lifting to the north. The wind direction is changing. The weather is going to warm up as we head into tomorrow. In fact, we had to look ahead. The weather patterns flip heading into the weekend. It's going to feel a lot more spring-like early next week. And it looks like this pattern is going to stick around as we head into the first week of March. No signs of this flipping around anytime soon. That's been kind of the theme for most of the winter. Temperatures have been running above average all winter long. And by the way, meteorological spring officially starts tomorrow. Clinton, 22 degrees. Cassville, 17. Forestport, 18. Norway, 20 degrees. Curtis, 18. Inlet, checking in with 14. Westford, 20. Skenevis, 26. Milford, Mark with 21. Lake effect snow showers lift north tonight. Again, a very light coating, a trace to as much as 2 inches of fluff possible here throughout midnight. Heading into tomorrow, sunshine. Lots of melting snow in the places that did see snow. Temperatures climb into the mid-40s. Lots of clear skies for early tomorrow night. Clouds will be thickening up. The next weather maker arrives, and it could start out as an icy mix in the Adirondacks very early Saturday, but most of this falls as rain. And again, it's a cold rain at that. Temperatures climb into the low 40s Saturday afternoon. Tonight, snow showers, low of 16. Sunshine tomorrow, noticeably warmer, 20 degrees warmer. And that's just the air temperature. It'll feel about 30 degrees warmer when you factor in the wind chill. High temperature 46. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. 42 on Saturday, again, some light rain showers. 56 Sunday, and again, the weather really warms up, and we feel more spring-like on Monday and Tuesday. Temperatures in the low 60s. That's about 20 to 25 degrees above average. Cloudy skies with rain showers on Wednesday and Thursday with high temperatures in the 50s. We'll be right back.
Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
So we're tracking snowfall across the region. We had some very high totals in a very narrow band that ended up happening south of the city of Utica. Utica only getting 1.5 inches of lake effect accumulation, but you go south, the numbers go up. New Hartford 5 inches, Cedarville 11 inches, West Winfield 12 inches, Deansboro 15.5 inches. Some of the wind gusts last night, one of the strongest winds reported out of Griffiths, the strongest wind gust since 2017, clocking in at 55 miles an hour. That was just before 9 o'clock yesterday evening. A live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. We are still dealing with lake effect snow showers, and in fact, that band of lake effects pretty narrow, but it is producing some poor visibility just south of the city. Current temperature is 21 degrees. As we head into tonight, the snow ends. We're looking at sunshine, pleasant weather tomorrow. Some light rain to track as we head into Heart Run on Saturday morning. Snow showers this evening, temperatures in the teens. The weather warms up. A look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. It was 60 degrees just a couple of days ago, but the dramatic drop in temperature overnight brought the snow. And of course, a mixed bag of emotions.
News Channel 2's Kirk Supai tells us how central New Yorkers are feeling about this sudden roller coaster change in weather.
There were whiteout conditions through the night and into the morning. The plows have been out doing their best to clear a path for travelers, but one plow driver said whiteout conditions were so bad last night, seeing the road was difficult. That may have put them a little behind schedule. Travelers like Nick DeCilli have noticed.
Roads have been terrible, icy, slushy. I came up through the Ilion Gorge, which was probably not the best idea, but just went slow, put it in four-wheel drive. But yeah, cars off the road, not very nice. Yesterday I was in shorts and a t-shirt all day.
You probably weren't going to find anyone out in shorts and a t-shirt today, but 73-year-old Norman Seymour isn't complaining.
The winters have been mild in comparison to 25 years ago.
Henrik Lodachevsky likes the snow and doesn't even mind shoveling. He's just not so sure he likes the way the snow has been delivered.
We haven't had too much of it this winter. This is, you know, I don't mind it as much when you have little spurts of it.
Thomas Bell of Bell's Property Maintenance has been removing snow all over central New York and says the snowfall amounts vary quite a bit over a short distance.
I've been all over town, here in Bridgewater, Clinton, all over Utica. Utica's pretty good, but out here, this way, it's pretty deep in Bridgewater. I'm looking at 12 to 18 inches out here in certain spots.
Over on Paris Hill, Ian Trevel is up to his knees in snow. A bit of unfortunate luck has him spending most of his day digging out.
Today it's just a shovel. Snowblower quit on me, so I'm going to shovel through at least to get one car out for today. We'll see what the weather brings tomorrow. Hopefully it'll melt most of the rest of it.
Sequoia Valley Services snowplow driver Christopher Culp is happy to plow out driveways and loves the crazy weather. But if you are stuck with a lot of shoveling, waiting it out might not be a bad idea.
It's central New York, so you get all 4 seasons in a week, you know.
In Sequoia, I'm Kirk Supai reporting for News Channel 2.
Staying on the story, residents living at Lillian Cooper Apartments in Utica.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We are continuing to track some lake effect snow showers across central New York. The weather is going to warm up as we look ahead. Let's take a live look out at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. We're not done with the snow. We are tracking a very narrow band of snow showing up just south of the city of Utica. We've been noticing these narrow bands setting up over the past 24 hours. This one is weaker than what we dealt with earlier, but it is still causing a drop in visibility and snow-covered roadways as it makes its way northward. Right now it's located just south of the city of Utica. We got a closer shot between New Hartford and New York Mills, out towards Kirkland and Westmoreland. This also is extending into the Mohawk Valley, Frankfort, East Schuyler. Again, it's going to very slowly lift its way to the north and eventually come to an end. We can take a live look at road conditions. And again, the one camera closest to that band is the one on the top left-hand side. That's the intersection of routes 5 and 12 with Genesee Street. And again, you can see snow coming down pretty good here. The roads are still wet, but it could be a little bit slippery in spots heading into tonight. Let's look ahead to Saturday. For those of you participating in Heart Run and Walk, bring the umbrella. We're looking at some light rain and a cold rain at that, temperatures in the 30s. The second half of the weekend looks a lot nicer. Sunshine returns on Sunday. Temperatures are expected to climb into the mid-50s. Skywatchers tonight, it's cold. Clinton 22 degrees, Cassville, Helen with 17. Helen, by the way, picking up 7 inches of lake effect snow today. Mohawk 22 degrees, Curtis 18, Worcester with 23. That band of lake effect snow drifts north tonight and weekends. Again, just a fluffy inch or two of accumulation going forward. Friday, looking at clouds early in the morning, giving way to sunshine. Looks like a beautiful day. That wind direction changes into the southwest. It's going to help bump temperatures up into the 40s, and we'll see a lot of melting snow. Tomorrow night, watch out for a few icy spots in the Adirondacks as the next weather maker arrives. It starts out initially as a mix between rain, snow, maybe even some sleet and freezing rain mixing in there. As we head into Saturday afternoon, though, this is looking to be a cold rain with temperatures in the low 40s. Snow showers tonight, low of 16. Tomorrow, much warmer than today, a high of 46. That's 20 degrees warmer than today. And you factor in the wind chill, it's like 30 to 35 degrees warmer. Saturday, 42 for the high. Clouds, rain showers, Sunday 56. Next week looks warm. Temperatures in the low 60s. It's you kind of forget what is supposed to be average for this time of the year because it's been going all over the place. We're typically near 40, so this is going to be another way above average week ahead.
All right.
Bill, thank you.
Still to come on News Channel 2 at 6, how Utica will be featured. Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. You know what? It's snowing again.
It is. We're looking at downtown Utica. We're just getting some lingering lake effect snow. A lot of this is because we've got such warm waters. Our computer models are not really doing a good job capturing the dynamics going on in the atmosphere tonight, and this means this is going to linger around.
And you know, you and I talked about this maybe about a week or two ago where we said, this warm weather, we could still get a good lake effect popping. We got one today for sure.
Yeah, so we did get a lot of snow earlier today, and it's still lingering around across the area. Let's take a look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Now, this doesn't look impressive on the radar, but it is when we're looking at ground reports. It's a lot worse than what the radar is suggesting. Poor visibility and a fluffy couple more inches of snow will be taking place tonight across the Mohawk Valley. This will very slowly lift to the north tonight. In fact, this band is so narrow, it's not even being reported as snow at Griffis and Rome. Current temperature is 21 degrees, but again, those snow showers will be around tonight. The snow will be coming to an end. All of this will be melting away as we head into the next couple of days. We're talking more like spring temperature-wise. A look at the forecast is coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Staying on the story, residents living at Lillian Cooper Apartments in Utica could be getting that mail delivered again very soon.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're tracking lake effect snowfall that continues across central New York. This is a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It's very narrow. I'm going to zoom in here and show you what's going on. Don't take the reflectivity, which is the returns you're getting on the radar, for the intensity. It's actually underdoing this quite a bit. It's got a good idea of the placement of the band, but it's doing a poor job showing the intensity. And that's because a lot of this is happening in the lowest level of the atmosphere. And the radar beam going away from the radar site with distance tends to overshoot some of these cloud tops, and it's missing the precipitation. We can tell, though, because this band is making it all the way out to Albany. We're getting some returns in the Albany area from that, so that does indicate some pretty heavy snowfall. We can also look at some of the webcams across the area. Again, snow-covered roadways in the Utica region and then down into the Mohawk Valley. This is a very fluffy snow. It does come to an end tonight as the wind direction weakens and turns to the north. Heart Run for Saturday, a cold rain, light rain, temperatures in the 30s. Grab the jacket. Temperatures will stay in the 30s throughout the morning time. We'll have some showers that spill into the afternoon. Saturday's high 42. Sunday looks nice, sunshine, a lot warmer, high temperature of 56. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast tonight. Again, that lake effect snow gradually weakens and lifts to the north by tomorrow morning. We're looking at cloudy skies giving way to sunshine. That south wind's going to help bring temperatures into the 40s for the high. In fact, we should see a lot of melting snow throughout the day tomorrow. Tomorrow night, the weather turns cloudy, and we should see a brief round of snow turning over to rain as we head into Saturday. There could be a few slippery spots in the higher elevations early Saturday morning. Some scattered rain showers throughout Saturday afternoon with temperatures in the upper 30s to low 40s. Snow showers tonight, low temperature of 16. Again, additional snow looks to be on the light side. Most areas pick up a fluffy inch or two across the Mohawk Valley. Tomorrow, warmer, sunshine, and compared to today, it'll feel about 30 degrees warmer. Yeah, that wind chill today in the teens. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Saturday, again, looking at clouds, showers, 42. Sunday looks a lot nicer. The weather patterns favor spring-like temperatures in the low 60s on Monday and Tuesday, followed by a steadier rain Wednesday and Thursday.
I was talking with my daughter who attends college in Canada for her master's. She said they set a record yesterday, a record high for the entire ever. And then it was down to 8 this morning. So
wow.
It was one of those days where you go, yeah, we kind of felt the same thing. We were 60 yesterday and boom.
Big changes. And then we're swinging the other way around. Usually when this cold weather comes in, it kind of settles in for at least a couple of days. It's pretty much gone beginning tomorrow.
All right, we'll be ready for it. Thanks, Bill. Coming up next, the most prolific scorer in women's basketball. For a first look at the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis, and it looks like the snow is slowing down just a little bit out there tonight.
Yeah, we had a burst of lake effect snow again this evening, but things have quieted down over the city of Utica. Roads are not in bad shape. They're generally treated, but the side roads will be slippery if you are heading out tonight. Keep that in mind, too, for tomorrow morning. A couple of slick spots are possible, but looking ahead, the weather is looking a lot warmer, and a lot of the snow that did fall today is going to be melting. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Again, tracking some lake effect snow. The band's still across southern Herkimer and Montgomery County, but this is moving out as dry air moves in and the wind direction changes. Temperature-wise, we're sitting at 21 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. That wind is making it feel like 12. It's going to be a cold night tonight. Overnight lows drop down into the teens, but the snow does end. And we are looking at dry weather and a dry, sunny start to Friday. A nice, warm stretch of weather early next week. A look at that forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Staying on the story, residents living at Lillian Cooper Apartments in Utica could be.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. Welcome back. We are taking a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. The weather has changed tonight. We've been dealing with this band of very stubborn lake effect snow, but it has finally shown some signs of weakening as dry air and a change in the wind direction has put this lake effect event to bed here. But we are still seeing some residual snow showers across southern Herkimer County. These are going to continue to move out towards Albany. By the way, the fact that this band has made it to Albany just shows you how strong it was at one point earlier today, producing some whiteout conditions across portions of the Mohawk Valley. The roads are still snow covered tonight, so if you are heading out, keep that in mind. And there will be some slippery spots here through tomorrow morning. But conditions are expected to improve and the snow is going to melt as we head into tomorrow. Heart Run and Walk on Saturday. We're looking at cloudy skies, rain showers, and chilly. Temperatures will be in the 30s. That rain doesn't look all that heavy, but it looks persistent, steady throughout the morning time, and that continues into the afternoon. A high temperature on Saturday of 42. Sunday looks a lot warmer and sunny, with high temperatures climbing into the mid-50s, which is way above average. We'll be above average tomorrow, high temperature of 46. Lots of melting snow. The melt meter is pretty high, and that has a lot to do with the sunshine. By the way, tomorrow, first day of March. How about that? Again, that sun angle will continue to get higher and higher. Snow comes to an end tonight across the entire area. We're looking at mostly cloudy skies in the morning north of the Mohawk Valley, sunshine south. Sunshine for everybody as we head into the afternoon. High temperatures climb into the low 40s. That wind direction turns into the southwest. Tomorrow night, the weather turns cloudy. We could see a brief wintry mix in the Adirondacks before Saturday morning. 7 a.m., a cold rain moves in. Temperatures climb into the low 40s. The weather improves for Sunday. Snow showers come to an end tonight, low of 16. Tomorrow, a lot warmer. High temperature of 46 compared to what it felt like today. This is going to be about 30 to 35 degrees warmer. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. On Saturday, again, some light rain showers. Sunday looks dry. 60s on Monday and Tuesday.
Stop it.
Before the rain returns. I know. It's hard to believe.
It's insane this year with the ups and downs.
20 degrees above average. Spring has, at least the warmer weather has been winning hands down.
We'll take that.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Well, the state DEC announced